Good morning. Welcome to Merivit Education Center. This is for Science and English M.2. The 10 vocabulary words we had discussed earlier are those very important words that we will be using for today's amazing topic, the human circulatory system. Let's start. In this lesson, you will learn about the different organs of the circulatory system and its related functions. Specifically, you will learn about the different pathways of circulation. Lastly, you will also learn about ways of keeping the circulatory system healthy. All the cells in our body need nutrients, oxygen, and water. Carbon dioxide and other waste materials produced by the cells must be removed. How does our body do these processes? Do you have any idea? Now let's move on to find out. The cells in our body are supplied with oxygen and nutrients through the circulatory system. Blood that circulates inside the body does these specific functions for supplying the body with oxygen and nutrients, as well as removing the waste products from our body with the help of the excretory system. We will talk more about the excretory system in our next episodes. The circulatory system is made up of interrelated systems that work together. Now, these are the heart, the lungs, and the blood vessels. Do you know their functions? Wonderful! The heart pumps blood to the lungs and transports blood away from the heart. The lungs oxygenate blood from the heart, while blood vessels transports blood away from and towards the heart. Now, these three systems portray unique jobs which are very important in circulation. Let's now explore the essential role of the circulating fluid, which we commonly call the blood. So, how do you describe blood according to its physical characteristics? Yes, it's a fluid made up of liquid and solid. The fluid part is basically made up of water, while the solid part are cells, such as the red blood cells, white blood cells, and the platelets. Now, what's the role of the blood? Exactly. The blood travels around the body carrying oxygenated and deoxygenated blood repeatedly. What about the oxygenated and the deoxygenated blood? How do they differ? Let's find out. Oxygenated blood is usually bright red in color. What gives it a red color is the presence of the high concentration of oxygen molecules. And how do they get a high concentration of oxygen? Yes, they get oxygenated in the lungs as they travel through the tiny blood vessels in the lungs. They return back to the heart from the lungs to be pumped out to the different parts of the body carrying oxygen. Now let's take a look at the deoxygenated blood. How is it different from the oxygenated blood? It is dark red in color because of the absence of the oxygen molecules. They already came back from the cells and their oxygen molecules are gone since they were used by the cells in the lower and upper part of the body. The deoxygenated blood will travel back to the lungs to be reoxygenated and will be pumped out again in due time. This is just a cycle of oxygenation, deoxygenation, and reoxygenation. Amazing, isn't it? Do you remember that the blood circulates and flows to all parts of the body? Hmm? Wonderful. Do you know what makes it circulate? Well, the human circulatory system also has a pumping device. Do you know what this pumping device is? Indeed, it's our heart. The heart is a muscular organ, and it is considered to be the most important part of our body. It has the capacity to pump blood through muscular contractions to move blood around the body. Do you know how it looks? The heart is made up of cardiac muscles. The muscles contract to pump out the blood into the different parts of the body. It is a four-chambered organ. A chamber is like a room. The upper portion of the heart is the atrium, and the lower portion is the ventricle. Each of these portions are divided into the right and the left. So we have the right and the left atria, and the left and the right ventricles. So we have four chambers. What is really an atrium? Exactly. The atrium is called the receiving chamber, as it collects oxygenated from the lungs and deoxygenated blood from the body. Other than that, it also pumps oxygenated and deoxygenated blood into the ventricles. But wait, what are ventricles? Let's find out. Next are the ventricles. What are the ventricles? Fabulous! They are the pumping chamber. Why are they the pumping chamber? They are called pumping chamber because they pump blood, which they receive from the atria, to either the lungs for oxygenation or to the different parts of the body for circulation. Amazing, right? Remember, the ventricles are divided into the left and the right chamber. Each of the chambers have their own specific role to play in the pumping of the blood. Do you still remember that the heart has four chambers? Fantastic! Do you remember what is a chamber? Excellent! A chamber is a little room or space. When you go inside a room, you will pass through a door, right? This is exactly similar inside the heart. The flow of the blood inside the four chambers is controlled by the heart valves, which are, well, like doors that open and close. The valves are thin flaps of tissue like a leaf. There are four main valves in the heart. They are the pulmonary valve, the mitral valve, the tricuspid valve, aortic valve. When these valves open, the blood in each chamber will flow according to its specific direction. Earlier, we said that the blood circulates and flows to all parts of the body, right? Do you know where does the blood flow? Wonderful! The blood flows through the blood vessels. The blood vessels are the pathways of the blood that transport oxygen and nutrients around the body. Now, there's more. These are also the pathways of waste products in which carbon dioxide is transported away from the tissue. In the picture, the red-colored vessels are the arteries, and the blue-colored vessels are the veins, while the interconnection between the two are the capillaries. Let's learn some more details about each one of them. One of these are arteries. Now, what are arteries? Yes, you are right. Arteries are blood vessels that carry oxygen. But how do arteries work? Correct. Arteries transport oxygenated blood away from the heart to all parts of the body. The blood are usually bright red in color because it contains high concentration of, good job, oxygen. Do you know what the aorta is? Perfect. The aorta is one of the important pathways in blood circulation, and it carries oxygenated blood away from your heart to the rest of the body. An aorta is simply a very large artery. The aorta is the major exit of blood from the heart to the lower part and the upper part of the body. Do you know the blood vessel that portrays a very essential job in blood circulation? This is the pulmonary artery. Do you know what is the pulmonary artery? Precisely. It carries the oxygenated blood from the right side of the heart to the lungs. What parts of the circulatory system have we learned so far? Terrific! We have learned about the circulating fluid, which is the blood. Fantastic! We have also learned about the pumping device, which is the heart. And we have learned about the blood vessels that carry oxygenated blood, which are the arteries. Well done! Now let's learn another type of blood vessels, which are the veins. Do you know what veins are? Very good. Veins are blood vessels that carry unoxygenated or deoxygenated blood. Veins transport the oxygenated blood into the heart. The heart will pump the deoxygenated blood into the lungs for reoxygenation. The arteries and the veins interconnect at the capillaries. This is so important because this is the way how the exchange of gases occur. Capillaries are so small that only a single blood cell can fit in through them. It helps connect arteries and veins to exchange oxygen and nutrients in our blood. For example, in the lungs, where the exchange of gases happen. The pulmonary surfaces are lined with abundant supply of capillaries in such a way that when the deoxygenated blood reaches the lungs, diffusion of gases happens between the capillary beds in the lungs. Well, this allows the arteries to pick up oxygenated blood to be transported back into the heart and to be resupplied to all parts of the body. Amazing coordination, right? The human circulatory system is a double circuit system. There are three major circuits in the circulatory system. Do you have any idea about the major loops in the circulatory system? Fantastic! The three systems are the following: the pulmonary circulation, the systemic circulation, and lastly, the cardiac circulation. Look at the picture. Do you notice the red and blue system of blood vessels? What do you think is the red and the blue for? The red shows the systemic circulation, which involves the circulation of oxygenated blood to all parts of the body. The blue represents the pulmonary circulation, which is the path of the blood flow from different parts of the body back to the lungs for reoxygenation. The last circuit is the cardiac circulation, which is the flow of blood in the heart muscles itself. Here is another figure that shows the pathway of blood flow. What do you think are the veins that carry the oxygenated blood from the various parts of the body to the heart? Exactly. The superior vena cava and inferior vena cava, they carry the oxygenated blood from various parts of the body to the heart. How about arteries that carry the oxygenated blood to the lungs? Very good. Pulmonary arteries. They carry the oxygenated blood to the lungs. This is the only artery in the body that doesn't carry oxygenated blood. Remember, almost all of the arteries carry oxygenated blood except this one. These are the ways on how to keep the heart healthy as possible. Let's read them together. Reduce fats in our food, eat more fruits and vegetables, exercise regularly to keep body weight down, lower blood pressure, and strengthen the heart. Quit smoking, relax and get enough of quality rest, and reduce alcohol consumption. Come on, let's have a quick review. Name the parts as I say the number. Are you ready? Let's go. Number 1. Aorta. Fantastic. Number 2. Pulmonary artery. Fabulous. Number 3. Superior vena cava. Excellent. Number 4. Pulmonary veins. Wonderful. Number 5. Right atrium. Marvelous. Number 6. Right ventricle. Magnificent. Number 7. Valves. Remarkable. Number 8. Inferior vena cava. Extraordinary. Number 9. Left ventricle. Outstanding. And number 10. Left atrium. Tremendous. Thank you for listening and see you on the next episode.